Brilliance Audio presents Improve Your Communication Skills by Alan Barker, performed by Simon Vance. How would you define the word communication? It is a question I often ask at the start of training courses, so let me ask you the same question. Exercise. Complete this sentence in no more than 12 words. Communication is. Ask a few colleagues for their ideas. Compare your thoughts. Are you defining communication in all its forms? Are you defining effective communication? What makes communication ineffective? Can you agree on a definition? The transmission model. In the 19th century, the word communication referred mainly to the movement of goods and people. We still use the word in this way, of course. Roads and railways are forms of communication, just as much as speaking or writing. And we still use industrial images as metaphors for communication. Information, like freight, needs to be stored, transferred, and retrieved, and we often describe the movement of information in terms of a channel along which information flows. In the 20th century, this transport metaphor readily adapted itself to the new electronic technologies. We have telephone lines and television channels. Electronic information comes in bits stored in files or vaults. The words download and upload use the freight metaphor. Email uses postal imagery. So it wouldn't be surprising in that exercise just now if you defined communication as the effective transfer of information. After all, what do we do when we communicate? We have an idea, as if the idea were an object. We put the idea into words, like putting it into a box. We try to put our idea across by pushing it or conveying it, and the receiver, hopefully, gets the idea. We may need to unpack the idea before the receiver can fully grasp it. Of course, we need to be careful to avoid information overload. This is the transmission model of communication, and it is very attractive. It suggests that information is objective, something that both the transmitter and receiver will understand in the same way, and measurable. How many bits are we transmitting? Above all, the model is simple. We can draw a diagram to illustrate it. But does the transmission model reflect what actually happens when people communicate? From transmission to reception, turning the model around. So what is wrong with the transmission model? Well, to begin with, a message differs from a parcel in a very obvious way. When I send a parcel, I no longer have it. When I send a message, I still have it. But there is a more serious reason why the model fails to describe communication accurately. The model is the wrong way around. Here's the first and most important point to make about communication. Communication begins not with transmission, but with reception. No matter how effectively I transmit information, it will not communicate to you if you don't receive it, and in order to receive it, you have to do three things. You have to pay attention, you have to understand, you have to put what you understand in context. You could say that these are the three most basic communication skills. Paying attention. Whatever you notice has the potential to communicate with you. If you notice a sign warning you about a bend in the road, you can adjust your driving. If you notice a loud siren that suddenly blares through the office, you can evacuate the building. If I say to you, "Once upon a time," you will make yourself ready to hear a story. But of course we often notice things that are not intended to communicate to us. We notice the rabbit running out in front of the car, or our colleagues leaping out of their chairs as the siren rings, or the slow, low music of the storyteller's voice. All of these things will communicate if we notice them. Communication begins not with the intention to communicate, but with the act of paying attention.